All right, we are now recording. His question was about opening multiple positions and stacking. So, hey, Kenneth, could you mute, please? Let me read his question exactly so we can address it properly. His question is, can you do a training on money management again with topics on stacking trades, closing part or half of trades, and putting in multiple positions? So you only want to do this if you catch a trade like at the top or at least halfway through. You definitely don't want to try it near the bottom. So that's why you have to know where you are in the market. Okay. Looking on the weekly time frame, we've started our descent off the top of this channel. We're halfway through. We get down to the daily. To get to the bottom of this trade to previous support is 358 pips. So yeah, you do have time to stack, but let's cover it as if we had caught this entire trade. Okay, so if you sold this from the top, you got here. Let's just say you open this trade with the 1.0. When you got here, you could close 0.75. That's going to leave 0.25 running. So you've taken off profit of your original trade. Okay. Now you can open, I would say, a 0.25. So now you're in at 0.10 again, but you've secured profits. I mean, let's see. You're in at 0.50 now because you've secured profits. You closed 0.75 and you open a new trade. Okay. When this went up in profit, you were going to move your stop loss up. When you got here, you were closing it out, opening a new position. Now you move your stop loss right above where you re-entered. So when you got here, you entered, your stop loss was up here. When it got about 20, 25 pips in profit, you moved it up at least 5 pips. So you're going to have money if the market reverses. You get down here, you're closing that, you're opening a new one, and you just stack and do this all the way down. But just remember, after about 2 or 3 pushes, you get a deeper pullback, okay? Now, your game plan is to hold part of that trade all the way down to here. So you are trying to catch from top to bottom 700 pips. Looking at it right now, you're like, oh, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 entries. Now it's just came right back up to here at previous resistance, because here it was supported, broke through its resistance. And just as expected, it started coming down again. It just pulled right back into that previous price zone. So you're thinking you only had 3 opportunities to get in here. Well, we don't enter off the 4 hour. We enter off of 15 or 5 minute. So now my text is gone. I was hoping it would still be on there. Let me go back to the 4 hour. See if I can change the settings, visibility. It should show on all time frames. Oh, there it is. Okay, I was in the smaller channel. Blind moment, y'all forgive me. Going back to 15 minutes. This is the little channel that we just broke off of in the last move. So we got in way, here we go. See now, if you look on a smaller time frame, you had more entry positions. So you could have closed here and opened here and just repeated the cycle all the way down. We pulled back up. Now we just do the same thing again. You never want to, here you closed 0.75. You don't want to open up another 0.75 because if it reverses, you're going to give back everything you just made off of the market. Don't be greedy. Don't over leverage. Just stack responsibly. I know it sounds like drink responsibly, but stack responsibly. So you could have stacked here, here, here. And each time you're putting your stop loss right above where you came in at. Now, when you get on your deeper pullback, you can adjust your stop loss because it's going to pull back deeper on your second or third trade, okay? But see, if you entered here, and you have your stop loss right above where you entered, it never took you out. So it started again. When you saw it break this channel, or you could put in another trade right there. All right. So now you got about 3 trades running. And the top one that you have, if you held from where we got in on the 15-minute, your top trade is up 400 pips in profit. Okay. Your second trade is up 300 pips in profit. Your third trade is up 175. So 400, 300, 175. You have 875 pips off of this one trade. That makes sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So that's how you stack a trade.
Yeah, it makes sense. I just need to go over it again. I'll look at it again.
Yeah, I'm recording it and I'll upload it later. But that's it. Very simple strategy. And that's why doesn't make any sense to have 5 pair you're trying to trade. How are you going to manage 5 different pairs that are moving at 5 different times when you could come here to a high probability trade that has started trading, and you can focus on this one trade and maximize your profits? Okay, that's what I did with GCAD. I opened 2 pair and I sold it down. Okay, now it's going back up into an uptrend. So if I could sit here and catch 685 pips and stack along the way, that's going to give me about 1,200 pips on one trade. Why am I going to bounce all over the market, getting caught up in trying to catch different moves? You want to focus on high probability trades. You want to mark up 25 pair and take the top 3 and watch them. Okay. So just I'll throw out a random pair. This move has already happened. I'm not going to come here and try and catch this buy now because it's at a reversal zone. And it could easily come back and retest the bottom before continuing up. Right now, we don't know if this is a full reversal or if it's just a correction of the downtrend. So it could easily come here and then go back up. Or it could retest and go back up, okay? So whenever you go through and mark up your charts and look at trades for this week. And if you're used to catching shorter term trades, that's fine too. If you want to catch this next move, you don't want to get in this pair until you have a flag and then a continuation, okay? If you don't get a flag, you don't get a continuation. It will come back down here. Like here, got a flag and it continued to the upside. All right. Anybody got any questions?
Yes. When you're drawing your charting, how are you showing a flag versus an ascending channel or descending channel? Or you just draw them the same and you can tell by looking at them what they are?
If a flag is a correction, oops, we draw better than this.
I've gotten into issues with that a couple times, and I gotta get it figured out.
It's very clear. It's the first time I saw it, it made so much sense, and I never forgot it. If you're in a buy, going up is not a flag. When you see the American flag flowing, it either flows to the side or it flows down. But if I'm in a buy, I'm looking for a correction, right? Then a continuation. If I'm in a buy and it starts slowly creeping up, that's not a correction. And that's letting me know that it's expiring and it's getting ready to reverse. The candles are getting smaller, 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 weaker. And then finally it drops to the downside. Let's see. GBP. I'm trying to remember some that I've seen recently. And you usually see them on a smaller time frame. And they usually happen when a trade is expiring.
You just missed one, Gigi, right there where the X is. It's in a buy.
I'm looking for a particular one where I told everybody to buy the other day and it went into a buy.
If you go to your
But I
left,
trade off the 15-minute.
right, go to your left a little bit. Right there, you see that big green candle, and then the flag, and then a continuation.
You're talking about here?
The green candle, right? The green, right
No,
there.
that was a flag and it went into a buy.
Right. When she was saying, how did a flag look opposed to a?
Oh, I was looking for an ascending channel. She knows what the flags look like.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
this is a
that a
flag
center channel next to it, left to it?
and that went up. Okay, here, it just gave you what's called an expanded flag. It retested the bottom, then it started up again. It never took out your previous low. So now we're getting like into some technical stuff. These patterns, you really have to train your eyes for them. Which one are you talking about, Maxwell?
Right there where she said the green candle, go a little bit left. You see how it went up and then creeped up slowly, then did the double tap, then went down?
You're talking about here?
Yeah. Is that a center channel left to that?
I'm looking for a specific one that's real clear. You have to train your eyes for them. The GBP pairs really lately have been doing this crazy stuff because of Brexit. So it might not have been a good pair to choose, but see, I don't know how my erasings got drawn. I had drawn one on here. Here you go. This is a descending channel. Okay. Instead of giving us a flag, you see it started descending down. And then dropped and reversed up. You see how it was descending down? That was your first sign that it was getting ready to reverse.
Yes, thank you.
I usually have them on, here's a perfect one, okay? This one's perfect. You see that? Causing a flag, it would go up and to the side, or up and down. Here, it did that. You see how it did? That's a perfect ascending channel. And what did it do? It reversed. Then gave us a flag, then gave us a sell. All right. When we got here, it reversed to the upside. But do you see this right here?
Yes, thank you.
So, and I usually look for those on the lower time frame. Let's see what it looks like here. Yeah, the GBP pairs haven't been real good lately, but you see here, oops. It was in a descending channel, retested the bottom and reversed. And you can hold it until it starts reversing. You see it fell out, made a flag and retested the bottom and went to the upside. So let's see. I can't believe all my markups are gone. I'm sort of upset right now. Oh, Jesus. Okay, let me mark this up on a higher time frame. I'm gonna mark it up from scratch. And hot in here.
Pay attention, y'all.
Let's bring this down here to where it bounced off. If you notice something that's a wick on a lower time, on a higher time frame, when you go lower, it turns into a candle. Okay, we had started an uptrend. Okay, we're in a definite uptrend on this pair right now. On your higher time frame. But now this is the weekly, and we don't trade off the weekly. So if you're looking at a higher time frame, this pushed up, but it's got a rejection and it started coming back down, okay? So what you could see on the daily, If it breaks through this, it's going to retest that. If it rejects, it's going to come back down. So we're still on the daily. Let's box it in a little bit more. And we can delete this when we get tighter. You see, this is just a big flag on a daily time frame. You got your impulse and your correction. You see, this was a descending channel here. It was selling, did a descending channel, and it started pushing back up. So you just want to know on your higher time frame what it's doing. You had a buy and you had a correction. So we could look for a continuation, but it's going to trade itself into this little zone first. Okay. So yep, when you get down to the 4 hour, it's already started its little correction here. So you should see a flag and then a sell. And then you could get a push back to the upside. Okay. Or you could get this, and if it creates a flag, break structure and go back down and retest the bottom. So those are your two opportunities here. So to know how to trade it, you go to your lower time frame. Again, so you just keep going lower after you're figuring out what it is doing. Here you had a buy, a flag, and then it started making the ascending channel and rejected off the top. All right, you've already got one little flag here. You'll look for another flag. So you would want it to do something like this. And then just continue its way down, okay? Your next area of resistance is right here. If you look at this area, it rejected, it didn't break it through and shot back up. If you look here, the exact same price level is shot up. So if you were to take this short sell, it only has 25 pips. So that's not something I would chase. I would wait to see what it's going to do when it gets here. If it rejects off here, you can catch it back to the upside, 55 pips. If it breaks through, you could catch it to the downside, 80 pips. And y'all know we go for like 100, 200 pips. So, and it's making a perfect M here. So if you look here, this was a strong sell zone and it's selling off there. It could come back and retest this bottom. So you just simply follow the pair. All right. So sell, sell, retest. I lean towards the sell. The dollar, NZD, USD. This one right here, I think is going to shoot up because the dollar took a dive. If you want to see what the dollar did and what it's doing on the daily, it's starting to sell. All right.
Can I say something real quick? For those who's trading that USD CAD pair, remember all the USD moves the same way. So if you stack on that pair too, because they move 100% in the same direction. So that's twice the money for you.
All right.
When you're following a pair, how often do you check back on them? I don't want to be one that sits and watches it because I'll put myself on the crazy side.
That's why you set trailing stop loss. If it has news on it, of course you want to check it.
Right.
So I usually put the trade, if I'm holding it for a couple hundred pips, I don't check it too often.
I'm gonna be honest, if it's a hot trade that I think is gonna move my way, I'm on it. I'm watching it.
Well,
I'm not
you can put alerts on it. So
I don't know, just my brain. I gotta watch it.
all right, you see we're trading on the weekly. You got to sell is going on. After it finishes correcting, you can see it break through down here long term on the weekly. Okay, but inside of this flag, you are going to look for patterns. You got your A, you're getting your B, you'll get your C, and your D will be your drop. So this is going to do exactly what you saw USD CAD doing on a weekly channel. You see how it did that on the week and dropped, did that on the week, and now we're getting a drop. It's all about the pattern. If you look at this on the weekly, it's making a similar pattern to what USD CAD was doing. It just didn't consolidate as hard the last time. So even though it's in an overall sell, we could get this buy back to the top, just like we did here. And then look for it to sell off. It's got 600 pips it could push up before it sells off again, okay? Even though we're in a downtrend, we can get a 500 pip buy. Will we get it all at once? No. You could buy 200 pips, sell 100, and then buy the last 300, depending on how the market is moving at the time.
School still looks at its new superintendent.
So since the dollar is dropping, of course, you would expect EUR USD to go up, NZD USD to go up, AUD USD to go up, because the dollar is in a decline. So
So good question. So, like, just to reiterate what you just said and the guy was saying, the correlated pairs, EU, AU, GU, NU, they typically run, like if EU was in a buy, the rest of them will follow?
The reason I don't do basket trading is because if you're trading GU and EU, if Brexit happens, GU could drop and crash while EU is going up. I don't put too many trades on one specific pair because I've seen people blow their accounts doing that. I know somebody who had a bunch of GBP trades jumping, Brexit news hit, his account got wiped with $3,000 within a few minutes. Okay, that comes to over leveraging, not using stop losses, but he got into like the Great British Pound with everything on Brexit going now. I will not personally open more than 2 GBP pairs because Brexit could come. If you're in a sell and they came out with positive news, it could shoot up. If you're in a buy and it came out with negative news, it could shoot down. So I wouldn't basket trade the GBP at least. But that's at your discretion. If you're there, if you're able to constantly watch so just imagine when the JPY, when that happened right here. Okay, we just covered this earlier. This pair dropped 500 pips. This pair dropped 400 pips. This pair dropped 644 pips, all at the exact same time. And that's not including AUD JPY and NZD JPY. Now, what if you have been trying to buy them all? Because we were looking for a reversal here to the upside, and you see after the fake out happened, it came, that's what it did. That's about a little over 2,000 pips that happened in an hour if you were in all those trades. And I don't know whose account can handle a 2,000 pip loss, but mine can't. So that's the only thing I don't like about basket trading. Is just say that you were in a bunch of USD pairs and Donald Trump were to tweet, and I ain't being funny because we know when he tweets, crazy things happen with the dollar sometimes. That's the only bad thing about basket trading. Can you make money doing it? Yes. Is it risky? Yes. Any trade is risky, but then you're opening yourself to multiple risks. If you're able to sit there and watch it, then that's good. But yeah, NZD USD is pushing up, so you could see something like this all the way to the upside. I made this purple last night to be funny. I need to change the color back. All right. Does everybody understand why I think it might push up to here? And that's about 240 more pips, okay? But when you look here, you can expect a correction because you got a correction there the last time. But you're not going to continue buying until you get a correction. Okay, right here, it's already starting the correction. And it made an ascending channel before it started correcting. This is a perfect ascending channel because you got your buy.
Somebody needs to find a new amazing adjective.
And you got an ascending channel. Okay, and what happened after your descending channel? It reversed. And that's just a correction because you had a big push up. Okay, it pushed up 77 pips. So you had a buy, a flag, and a continuation of the buy out of the flag right here. Now you're getting a correction. How far will it correct? Maybe down to previous area right here. Let's go back on. That would be about to the 23.8 on the Fibonacci, where it lines up right there. Now to notice the correction, you're going to get your little sell, flag, sell, and flag. You can see it come down to this and bounce back up. But as long as it's selling off, don't go in for your buy. I don't go for the short-term sales on these pairs. It could come all the way back down and retest this trend line. That's why you draw your trend lines. Trend lines do not dictate what the market does and will never control the market, but it gives you an idea of how far it could keep in structure. Once it breaks structure, like here, it was in an uptrend. And the first sign you got was your little ascending channel. So let's look at this trade. All right, we're right here. And we are going to watch it. If you look left, you got a sell zone going on right here. Bounced off your trend line. Pushed back up. You got your ascending channel. And then an impulse to the downside. And made a nice flag to the downside. Another flag for the downside. And it's creating patterns all the way to let you know that it's a sell continuation. So if you want to back test something and train your eyes, this is what you do. Just pick a random spot and watch it and ask yourself, what's it going to do? It broke that previous low. Right here, you had a flag. Right here, you had a flag. Right here, you had a flag. Let's see if we get another flag. Now we got a flag to the upside. So I knew my sell was over, but where did it come? The previous area right here. You got a flag, came and retested it. broke through.
And is it exactly that what's on the left?
Right. So if this were the live market, every time it broke a zone, you mark it off and see what kind of pattern it made. And each pair has its own different personality, moves a different way. Here we're getting some structure right here. See what it does. See, now it's trading in between this channel. All right, you see how it broke this, made a flag to the upside. It's continuing to the upside. Made another flag, so it's going to continue to the upside. It's making a flag. The candles are getting smaller and smaller.
What is this tool that you're using?
You got your ascending channel, and it broke. Replay. You see how it made that ascending channel, then it broke back to the downside.
I kind of see a W in there too, and I just was wondering if I was looking right.
See you next Wednesday.
Well, that's how you back test. You go back, you can put your EMAs on there, whatever you use. You can look at the MACD. And that's it. That brought us up to current date. So this was nothing more than a correction, and it corrected to about 50%. Right. Yep, it corrected to your 50% retracement level. All right, guys, let me see what the questions are. I got to get off here and do my marking up, and my grandkids are on the way. All right, anybody else got any questions?
Just want to know, when is the next Fibonacci training?
If you go to our Telegram, there's a whole course that I bought in there on Fibonacci.
Roger that.
Go to our Telegram, go to files. This is the notes from Tuesday night session. This is the Fibonacci, right? No, that's the tool that if you guys want a spreadsheet, everybody needs to download this Trading Made Simple. Everybody needs to download that. It's self-explanatory when you get it. Here it is, where Udemy. If you hold over it, it says Easy 5-Step Fibonacci Swing Trading. Download that, okay? It's a course that I bought on Fibonacci because I love the Fibonacci. It's a very accurate tool. It's not an indicator, it's a tool. So you can download that.
It's a nice program too. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, this is the Astro FX. If you want to read about market structure, Think and Grow Rich, different things in there. All right, anything else? Anybody got any trade setups they want to look at for next week that they plan on taking? I can't believe my markups are gone. I'm so mad right now. Jesus Christ. Everybody knows I made good money on gold last week. That was one of my trades of the week.
Maybe if you reboot, they'll come back on.
No, it's on Trading
Kind of
Views.
weird. Yeah.
I was doing something, trying something, and
Hey, Gwen, how about USD CHF?
it's in a continued sell. Hold on one second. I'll look at it. It's a sell continuation. You see how gold was and it made this beautiful flag before it broke to the downside? That's why I was selling it, okay? Now look where we are. This was nothing but a big flag. It kept rejecting, so every time it rejected, I was selling it. Finally got my flag, 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 and then we got our reversal down here. So now, if it doesn't reject this, we can buy it back up. Go to the daily, and let's zoom out. Of course, if we're back testing and looking at what happened, you go and you would draw your trend line that got broken. But here you see you had an impulse and a big flag channel here. It broke, came back and retested this exact same area. It's not a coincidence if you look left and see where it's testing off of these important price zones, okay? When it bounced off that, give us another move to the upside. So now we are back in an uptrend. On the daily. Let's bring that down here. So we could see something like we do this. This is what we want to see. How did I get the candle? I didn't mean to get that candle. Hold on. I want this candle. Here up to about here. So we can see some correction and then retest. Okay, if we don't see that, that's option one of what we're going to see right there. And that's on a daily. Whew, so that's a lot of pips. Now, if we don't see that, we could see something like this, where it breaks to the upside. So you're going to see one of the two. One of the two is going to happen. You're either going to get a continuation to the upside to previous support at 1357, or you're going to see it correct down to the downside. Now I want to move these because I want to look at it on a lower time frame, because I hardly ever predict off of a higher time frame. Yeah, that was a big move. We got to see some correction. See what happened last time it was at this zone. We could see something like this. You can see a correction, retest back to this level, and then shoot up to the upside. Oh gosh. All right. USD CHF. It has started to the downside. Let's retest this and start it again. The dollar is dropping. Okay. It's rejected off this right here on the daily. We go down to like the 1 hour. You had your impulse, your correction. This is called an expanding flag. And it sold off again. So you just want to see continuations like this. We don't want to start it right here. How do I keep getting that one candle? Oh, it's the wick. I don't want that wick. So you're looking for something like this on here. It's broken structure. You want to get a flag and then a continuation. As long as you're getting flags to the downside, you can continue to sell. So you basically want to see this happen over and over again to the downside. Okay, so you would draw a trend line. And just keep getting sales. All right. Eventually you'll have a stronger pullback on one of them, but then you'll look for this to happen again. And you'll keep selling it off. Okay, let's see how far down we can go on this one. You'll start getting some resistance around here because this is a strong buy zone. And you can get your deeper pullback, but as long as it's selling, you can sell it back down to here. And that's at the previous, you see what happened the last time it was there? So you're just getting a correction off of this up move. This was a big up move. You got a correction down to looks like the 61.8 or the 76. Yeah, hit that 71. All right, you had an impulse. You got a correction back down. It shot up, rejected off your 23. So you would just follow each level down on Fibonacci if you use that. So let me delete everything real quick. So here's where it rejected. Here's where it's going up. Between those two levels is 262 pips. Because it's bouncing off Fibonacci levels, it could get here and bounce back up. Also looking left, it's a strong zone. If you look, you see what happened here, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there.
Yeah, I do.
Now, removing these, drag these over. Here is the 23 on your Fibonacci, that exact same spot. Here's your 38. So it was bouncing in between the 23 and the 38 all of that time. Finally broke down, hit the 71, and bounced back up to your 23. So you want to see it come back down to here. Okay, and if you drag this to the left, look what happened right there. So when it gets here this time, you could see a continued sell-off or a rejection because that's still a sell zone. And on the bigger picture, that's just right here. This is right here. All right, so you're basically trading inside a channel that's been there for a while. Here. So you could easily see it get here, all the way down to here. And that is also creating let's see if I do this right. It's been a while since I did this stuff. I don't trade these patterns. I know some people do. Jamie needs to be on here. He draws these. I don't draw them. And that's why it shot up. Now you're basically getting the same thing back down to the downside. All these patterns are based off Fibonacci.
It's easy for you to say.
I know, right? Not so easy. All right. Anything else?
Thank
So
you.
you see it's rejecting off the 23 on your weekly. You're right there. It's rejecting at the same spot. You already got your impulse, your correction, your continuation. You just got a deeper correction. It never took out your previous high, so we are still in a downtrend. Okay. But it's inside of this pattern right here. Whenever you have corrections, you either have an ABC correction or ABCDE correction. A, B, C, and now we want to see it come back down to here.
Quick question. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
That's what we're looking for.
A quick question. So the ABC pattern is only when it hits the resistance and support?
It's inside of a correction. Like, let's look at USD CAD. I said I wasn't gonna be on here more than 15 minutes. It's already been over an hour. Boy, y'all get me every time. Huh. And what happened? It's inside flags. It's inside correction patterns. I'm not going to count that one. Hold on. Do it right. I'm just learning. This is something new I'm learning, which is why I haven't taught y'all yet. Went all the way up there, all the way down here, and all the way up there. So that's why I'm thinking we're going to finally get the break here. You see that? And it happened on the weekly. You can go down to the 4 hour. Oh, goodness. And we finally got our break. That makes sense?
So most likely it's always 5 points.
Depends on the pair. Some of them are only like 3. On the lower time frame, it's usually tighter. On the higher time frame, you usually see, like, you can, even though you see this on a bigger time frame, you can go down to a lower time frame and see the same thing happening. All right, so we wanted to test it right here. So you would have gotten the ABCDE on there. And then it broke. And you start looking at the size of the candles inside of it. Okay. This was a small move. It wasn't aggressive. It got a little bit stronger than this time. It got really strong through your rejection candle and broke to the downside. So you just have to train your eyes to see patterns inside of patterns. So even on the weekly, impulse correction, continuation correction, but none of us trade on the weekly or else we wouldn't make any money, okay? So when we got on the smaller time frame, we could buy, we could sell, we could buy, we could sell, we could buy, we could sell based on the pattern. Since we knew we were in a downtrend, I was only looking for the sales. Here, I had an ascending channel, so I could have sold, retested, but it never would have taken out my stop loss. And catching it from the top would have been 624 pips, okay? Here you got your expiration and rejection candles here. Selling it from the top, give us another 574. Selling it from the top, give us another 565. So even though, you know, it had a big up move, we were in a downtrend. This was just a correction of a higher time frame. Even though you could have got a 590 pip sale here, you could have turned around when it rejected if you hadn't known this channel was here and got an 863 pip buy. But so everybody's like, oh, it's an uptrend, it's an uptrend. No, it's not in an uptrend, it's in a correction of a downtrend. And we're expecting it to come back down to here. But that's not gonna happen overnight because this is on a higher time frame. All right, y'all good?
Yeah, that's it, Mama G. Get the studying.
I got to mark up my charts.
You already gave us an hour.
Yep. So if you want to use this right here, it will tell you how long that correction took and how many pips it was. How many you had 60 days or 420 days of 1,412 pip moves. So you could have got like 600 or 700 pips each way trading in that area. This correction from here to here took 497 days, 1,600 pips. Okay. All right, guys. Any alibis, prayer requests?
Thank you, Gwen. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mama G, always.
All right,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you, Gwen.
All right, y'all be blessed. I'll put up the recording. All right.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Enjoy your family.
Thank you.